Dear brothers and sisters, we are still in the Apostles' land, and during this time I want to share with you some thoughts about how different is the love towards God and the worldview that it brings from the worldview of the world which is slipping into cult, okay, and which is choosing mammon. Okay, today I want to talk about both the situation outside of the church and inside the church. Okay, unfortunately we have some cults even within the church. Okay, but just one by one. Okay, first of all, what is the true reality? Okay, after the time of Renaissance and Enlightenment, there is this myth that the true reality is whatever you can touch, whatever you can smell with your nose, okay, whatever can be tested by some scientific, technological instruments, okay, that is reality, okay, and everything else is not so much reality, okay, it's more abstract, it's something which you cannot really touch, smell, measure. Okay, so this mechanistic and materialistic worldview became very popular even when we don't really acknowledge all these statements. However, it is a myth because true reality is what is real for you. Okay, and for example, when you love someone, okay, you fall in love, say. Your reality will change, okay? Your everyday life will change. The way you view the world will change. How you perceive time will change, okay? Many things, okay? You can think about it on your own, but you'll be a different person. You'll forget about yourself very often if it's truly falling in love with God. And for you, that will be much more real than, let's say, okay, what the temperature is now, of the air outside. Okay, it's windy, it's rainy. For you, it will be all not so much relevant. So other things will become more relevant. Okay, so and these other things are much more real for you. Okay, so this is just an example, but this example is quite relative because we are called to love God from our whole heart. Okay, so if you truly love Christ, your world will change. Okay, your world, your perception of everything will change dramatically. Okay. However, you may think that you're a Christian. You may think that okay, you're part of the church, even Orthodox. However, practically speaking, you will not just be indifferent about Christ, but you eventually will be slipping into some kind of cult, okay? Because everything that is not for God is for mammon, okay? The Lord said himself, you cannot serve two masters, either God or mammon, okay? Choose one. And first of all, I want to say a few words about the world which is outside. And it's not that I want to criticize or I want to express some hatred, okay? We must love everyone, and by the way, we have to venerate every human being, not worship, okay? The church distinguishes these things clearly. We only worship God, but we venerate everyone and even every person that we meet and that we know of, because they are messengers of God. They are created by God, even if they don't like it, even if they betrayed this role, but they are. Okay, so today it's not about some hate speech or some kind of self-glorification, okay, by showing others are false and fake, etc. But we need to know the world in which we live in, okay? Because the Lord himself, he said, don't love the world and what is in this world. And we need to have a great immune system, very strong spiritual immune system to be able to differentiate what are the spiritual viruses, what are these evils which are out there and which are aiming at penetrating into us, reprogramming, converting, defiling us, and subjecting us to their reality. And why I call this a cult? Okay, because it really is. Okay, and what kind of cults? First of all, okay, outside of the church, we can distinguish one big cult, which we can say Mammon cult. Okay, Mammonism. Okay, and there are small different cults, religious, political, pop culture, scientific, pseudo-scientific, all kinds of gaming, for some people, career cult, okay, different, many cults. Okay, for some people, they want nice cars, and others want nice girls. Okay, it's different cults. Okay, people have different kind of cults. They make themselves slaves of, adepts. Okay, and why do I call this cult? It's not a heresy, for example. Even Catholicism and Protestantism are pretty much their cults. Okay, not just heresies. Okay, because heresy, when we say word heresy, we just stress that it has its or a sect, cult or sect. Okay, whatever name you like. But I think in English sect is not very strong. I think cult is better. So heresy is just something which is splitted and which is wrong in terms of teaching, okay, etc. That's a heresy, which is actually not very powerful word, even though it might seem so. Okay, cult is something that you become completely enslaved by, brainwashed, and you have this cult worldview, cult worshipping. Okay, you belong to this cult. Everything that you have belongs to this cult. Your heart belongs to this cult, and all of what this cult does is harmful. Okay, spiritually and psychologically, and destroying you and your family, etc. Okay, so this is a cult. So why do I say a cult? Okay. Well, the cult makes you totally fixed on some mantras. Okay, you have some saints. For example, let's say you are a member of cult of liberals. Let's say those who, okay, let's say these political liberals. Okay, then you will have this cult of democracy, human rights, and whoever has promoted some declaration of human rights, and those things. If we're talking about these recent years, like Gorbachev and Solzhenitsyn and those kind of people, they're gonna be your saints, etc., etc. Okay, you'll be part of that liberalist kind of cult. Okay, if you say you are right, okay, you'll have your own heroes, your own mantras, your creed. Okay, you'll have your holy scriptures. Okay, you'll have you'll have the physical rituals that you have to perform, okay, which will prove yourself that you're part of cult, etc. It will have any cult has a way of making you part of it. Okay, now let's dance, or let's do some gestures. Okay, these are cults. It's the same as in some tribe in in Africa, or the so-called developed world. Okay, enlightened world. Okay, you know, spiritual things are as old as this world. Okay, they're coming from devil. Okay, these delusions, and okay, it's no different. Okay, nothing has changed really, in that sense. So people become parts of these different cults. So we just need to know what are we dealing with if we want to bring the message of the gospel, and what kind of people, what are they subject to? Why our relatives, why our friends are so hard to get the message through regarding gospel, regarding repentance, okay, regarding the Lord, the last judgment, the prayer, okay? Why it's they're not getting it? Because they're part of cult. Okay, you just need to know that. You live surrounded by these adepts of some kind of cult. Okay, and the big cult is Mammon, as I've said. Okay, almost everybody worships Mammon. And so what do I mean by Mammon? Okay, wealth, comfort, selfishness, proudness, pride. This is what the Lord said. It's just three things He said. The desire of flesh, desire of eyes, earthly proudness, vainglory. Nothing changed. Okay, it's those three things. Okay, it all boils down to these three things. So this is what the world is seeking. Okay, he said these Gentiles, they're seeking for what to eat, what to drink, what to put on, okay, where to live, okay, your financial well-being, etc. This is all that they care. Somebody have other subcults. Okay, so there are different subcults, as I mentioned, political, religious, like the sects, Catholicism. Okay, follow Pope. He tells you what? Crusades, go crusades. Buy those indulgence. Okay, you buy indulgence. He tells you there is this purgatory. There is purgatory. Okay, you just go alone. No need to pray. No. Well, yes, you need to pray, but just to gain your merits. Okay, all kinds of different stuff that the devil. It's all coming from the devil, which is just making fun of these people. They chose not to be with Christ, so he's just playing with them. Okay, giving them all kinds of crazy ideas. And all these different methods, these super crazy methods, like this Francis of Assisi or Ignatius of Loyola, meditate, sit there, or just staring at this monstrance, okay, which is forbidden by all the saints, all the holy fathers, okay. And eventually this big cult of Catholics gave birth to all these smaller cults of Protestants, okay, which have the demons behind everyone. Okay, so you are your Pope. You believe this? Okay, this is your church. This is your doctrine. Okay, and it became even more wild, and it's getting worse and worse, year after year. There is a big cult that those who think that they are not part of any cult, okay, the so-called anarchists, okay, this permanent revolutionaries that think I am the best, the smartest, okay. I don't listen to TV. I don't listen to anyone's idea. I have my own idea about everything. I'm so free. I'm so cool. Well, they become enslaved by this devil of self-fetishism or self-idolatry. You become idol yourself. You worship yourself. Okay, so it's no better. Okay, it's the same. Demons. It's just a different kind of demon, but it's also demons that are possessing you and making you feel that you are the smartest, you are so free, and etc. And at the end of the day, you're just a toy in the hands of demons, okay? Because you don't love God, because you don't search Him. And of course, there are all kinds of other cults. Could be music, could be cars, could be anything, okay? It could be, really could be anything. Hobbies, I don't know, music, it could be anything, whatever you want, shopping, but patriotism, okay, some nationalism, some, okay, your nation is the best, or whatever. It could be all kinds of different garbage, okay, that will be enslaving you. And the worrying part is that these things are now happening not just outside of the church, which is reasonable, because people are not with Christ, but also we have some cults creeping into the church of Christ. And people who think that they are part of the body of Christ, they become part of the body of Antichrist. Okay? Not even knowing that. And we have these cults, one cult of liberals, modernists, these pseudo-spiritualists who think that they're spiritual, but they don't care about true prayer, asceticism, okay? Oh, they're so spiritual, so they don't need any asceticism. They're so well educated so that they understand everything, so they disregard gay church tradition, they laugh at others who are pious, who are obedient to some traditions. And we have also this another cult of these conservatives who are like these old believers type of thing. I have a video on that recently, okay? That's another cult, and they have their own heroes. They have their own. Okay, any cult, brothers and sisters, any cult would have these basic adepts, okay, who are just blinded, who just follow whatever you tell them. There are some intellectuals, some advanced ones, who are well educated, but they are also part of the cult. And there are emissaries or these spiritual leaders of this cult, who of course propagate their ideas and nothing else. They worship these ideas, okay? And knowingly or unknowingly, they are also slaves of the spirit of this cult. And there are also well, this media, just to be sure, brothers and sisters, 99.999% of all the mass media, all the YouTube bloggers, they are part of some kind of cult. Just be aware of that. Okay? Don't expect too much truth. Don't put too much trust. And unfortunately, we now have this even with church people. Okay? They may be victims of some kind of fallacy and they go along with some kind of spirit. Just don't put too much hope in church people, okay? Even pastors, even some missionaries, okay? Because these things, they influence, and sometimes even they influence these religious people even more than they would influence non-religious people. So we have this big problem. Whom to trust? We trust the Holy Gospel, we trust the Holy Fathers, we trust spiritual life prayer, okay? We trust the sacraments of the church. You cannot go wrong there, okay? The saints, martyrs, their testimony. We have enough things to trust, okay? So don't be too dependent on people, okay? On some spiritual leaders and, you know, some their opinions and stuff like that. It's just to to compare, to see. Maybe some of them have strong faith. It's a good example for us how to become stronger in faith. But we no need to put too much hope in that. We're living in very difficult times, very hard times when this sectarian cult reality is blinding more and more people, and this world is getting crazier and crazier without knowing it. May the Lord help all of us, keep us in His truth, in His holiness, in humbleness, in the eagerness to learn Him, to learn His ways, His commandments, to live by His commandments, to search for the kingdom of heaven, and to do this ministry, to sacrifice ourselves for the people, as He Himself sacrificed Himself for the people, for the good of people. Okay, may His truth abide forever, and may more and more hearts open up to this truth and be converted, be renewed, and be resurrected from this bondage, slavery, and sin and darkness in which so many people are sitting. I mean, God bless, brothers and sisters. Please don't forget about morning and evening prayers. These are super important. Please do it every morning, every night. Without this, you will become part of some kind of cult. Okay, just beware of that. God bless.